Afternoon, YouTube. My name is Matt with ASL Dumpsters, owner-operator. We operate out of Aurora, Colorado, and I wanted to start making some videos to help other guys out that are thinking about doing this. I know there's tons of guys out there that have kind of helped me through the YouTube channels, even over emails, talking to them, and I wanted to reach out and do the same thing because I've got a little over 3 months in this business now, and I figure this is a great way to share your experiences and trials and tribulations, successes, reviews on equipment, whether it be trucks, trailers, roll-offs, methods of storage, payments, advertising, all that. Everything that goes into running business of any kind, but especially a dumpster rental business. So I'm just going to start out with this video talking about why I started this business along with my wife. We have 3 young kids, ages 8 months to 7 years, and I came from the oil field here in Colorado, but my last job before I started this business was I was a superintendent for a general contractor, doing renovations and stuff like that, bigger multifamily renovations, which it was a great job. Learned a lot, but you know, it's a lot of hours, and especially in the oil field, it's a lot of hours, a lot of driving, which is a good thing because ultimately it made me love being in the truck, getting a lot of windshield time, and you kind of need that in the dumpster rental business, especially if you're going to be the operator. So we came after a year of being a superintendent with that GC. My wife and I kind of hit a, I don't want to call it a breaking point, but we kind of came to a fork in the road where her career over the last few years has been skyrocketing. She is in sales in the real estate world. She's not a real estate agent, but her career has taken off, and we got to a point where we had to make a decision whether her career would stay stagnant and kind of plateau while still taking care of a lot of the kids stuff, because I was always on site from sun up to sundown. You know, I was always had to be at the job site running that show. So with her sales job, she was afforded more flexibility, so it ultimately fell on her to take care of a lot of the kids' stuff. Now, what I kept saying to my wife, you know, listen, I either need to quit my job or we can't keep having this conversation about how it's not fair that you take care of a lot of the family stuff and I'm always, you know, sitting at the job site. So we hit that fork in the road, and ultimately we decided to start a dumpster rental business. And much like others, shout out to Jesse Mims, Life's Apprentice, Josh over there at American AF, a few other guys. You know, I started just following them and trying to understand the dynamics of that business, and it felt like something that not only I could be good at, because I'm good, I feel like I am good with customers. I present myself well, not only myself but our company, and we decided to start small. So we bought one. I bought a Rawmax dump trailer with 4-foot walls, so it is, you know, it's basically a 15-yard unit. And within less than a month, my wife and I both decided that we needed to get another. At that time, Rawmaxes were not available here in Colorado, nor were they available at the dealership that I bought it from in Kansas, so I went with a PJ. So I have, right now I still have 2 units, and I hardly ever have them in storage. In fact, I just came from putting one in storage for the first time in a couple weeks, which is great. You don't ever want them in storage. You want them run into the landfill and run into the next customer. So, you know, we hit that point and we started with 2, but I was still a superintendent. So I was doing not only my day-to-day, you know, basically 6 to 5, 6 to 6 hours at work, but then I was coordinating running dumpsters around that, whether it was super early in the morning or running them on my lunch hour, what have you. So it got to the point where we made the decision and took the leap, and I made a plan with my boss at the time, so I wasn't leaving him high and dry. I didn't leave a project, mid-project or something like that. I don't like burning bridges especially, so I made a plan with my wife and my boss, and we decided to take the leap. And honestly, if I look at quality of life and the time I get to spend with my kids now, the satisfaction of being an entrepreneur, a business owner, something I've always wanted to do. My father was an entrepreneur forever. That's what I grew up watching him do, was build businesses. And it's satisfying, I gotta tell you, but it's not easy. And the reality of it is, with 2 units, as busy as I'm keeping them, I'd say I'm take home, not minus cost, but revenue. Revenue wise, I'm probably now bringing home almost what I was when I was a superintendent. Now, that doesn't include any of the benefits, the insurance, retirement, life insurance, all the bennies that come with a full-time job, especially a salaried one. I'd say I'm almost matching that just in revenue. Now you take away the cost, the fuel, the insurance, maintenance, advertising, all that stuff, everything. Better Business Bureau, anything you can possibly think of will nickel and dime you out of your profit. So, after making the decision to get this business up and running and do it full time, along with taking care of my kids during the summer, and I think we made the right decision. My next move, what you might be wondering, okay, you've got 2 dump trailers. That's another thing with dump trailers. Speaking of cost, you got to register and insure each of those individually, so you got to think about that. The way it worked with me, since I bought them both in Kansas, I did not have to pay sales tax at the time of purchase. So I basically just paid the purchase price for the equipment. I did pay for shipping for one of them. I drove to Kansas for the first one and picked it up myself, which I probably won't do again. But the cost of having dump trailers, while they're easier to get into and start off with, they are more expensive as you expand. Sales tax, insurance, registration, especially here in Colorado, our registration costs for vehicles and trailers is insanely high. So that's something, if you're here in Colorado, you need to think about. So now that I have 2, and that cost is kind of behind me, I'm still paying off the second one a little bit. I'm going to continue to do that until, until I get to the point where I'm comfortable making my next big purchase. And so basically, once that happens, I'm ready to make the next move. And that next move will be into roll-offs. I plan on getting a gooseneck roll-off trailer with 3 bins. So I'm going to go from 2 units to 5 units total. Now that's 3 roll-offs and 2 dump trailers. And the reason, from my perspective, the benefits to getting into roll-offs is your expansion is you make yourself profitable while still expanding. Basically what I'm saying is that you buy 1 trailer that can service roll-offs, and each bin costs half the price of a dump trailer, if that makes sense. So as you expand, you just continue to buy bins. You already have your dump trailer, your roll-off trailer paid for, or you're paying on it, but your registration's done, your insurance is done. You do not have to continue to insurance bins individually. Obviously, they're not a vehicle amongst themselves. only the trailer is. So that's, if some guys are out there wondering why there are so many channels on YouTube that went from dump trailers or trash trailers to roll-offs, that's why, because in this business, that's the only real way to be profitable and expand. So basically, yeah, expect some more videos. I'll probably do some how-tos, some reviews. Again, I'll do a review on my truck, my trailers, maybe do some landfill videos, and kind of take a ride with me as we expand. I'm excited, and again, shout out to the guys that have, kind of blaze these little trails on YouTube that kind of inspired me to do this. So Jesse Mims, Life Apprentice, American AF, CFL down in Florida. Thank you guys for, showing your trials and tribulations. It's not the easiest thing to do, to run a business and do a channel and kind of put yourself out there for criticism. I'm sure there's comments and stuff from guys that think they can do it better or do it differently or what have you. My goal with this channel is just to share my experience and hopefully learn from you guys. I'm sure there's tons of knowledge out there, and that's what I'm trying to tap into and share a little bit of mine as well. So again, my name is Matt with ASL Dumpsters. We'll see you guys next time.